that's how you get your mom not to ride on your bike anymore. Having a sport bike in college makes you really popular with the opposite gender at times. And a number of folks wanted to get rides on my bike. And I had a gsx-r 600. It was a brand new bike, 2001 at the time, first or second year with the fuel injection. This was cool stuff, and it was blue and it was white and had, you know, the graphics on it and everything. And I had a matching blue Dragon helmet to go with it. And I mean, you know, I was hot snot back then. And you know, a 600 cc motorcycle, which, by the way, prior to buying this bike, I had never ridden a motorcycle. When I bought it, I stalled it on the way out, and the salesman kind of does one of these as I'm driving away, finally figuring out, oh, clutch, gas. You know, this was my first attempt at riding a motorcycle when I bought it brand new off the dealership. In retrospect, maybe not the smartest thing to do. Yet, here I am. I remember the first time my mother saw it, she was aghast. It says, "What is that?" I said, "I sold the Camaro, the white Camaro, and I bought this. I now own a motorcycle." And she says, "Why would you buy a motorcycle?" I said, "Because I want to have fun. I'm young and I want to do this now before I'm old and stupid." This is what I told myself. You're 21. You don't necessarily always think in the most clear of terms, but that's what was going through my head. And she says, "Well, you're going to need an extra helmet." And I said, "Why would I need an extra helmet?" She says, "Because I know you, Eric, and I know there's going to be tons of girls on the back of that, so get a helmet." So I had to go out and buy an extra helmet. And that was all the money I had at the time because I spent all the money on the bike. That's what you do when you're 21 years old. And so I went out and bought a helmet. And as soon as I got the helmet, she goes, "Okay, you're gonna give me a ride now." And I've been riding for all of 2 weeks, so now I've got my mother on the back of this bike. And we did a little loop that would take up to the highway and then would kind of come back. And during the ride, I, you know, kind of give her some instructions, and my mom does not necessarily always follow instructions very well, so you have to be very, very clear with her, very concrete. So I'm like, you know what, just put your hands on the tank, hug me as close as you can, because the balance of a sport bike is very dependent on where you sit on it. And I said, "You do not move. I don't care what I'm doing. You don't move." And she didn't, thankfully. And we get on the highway and we come back, and I was like, "Oh, so what do you think? Is it okay? You know, are you still mad at me for buying this?" And she says, "No, it's okay. I just worry because, you know, you're young and stupid." And I'm like, "Well, yeah, I'm both of those things at the same time." And I said, "Just out of curiosity, how fast do you think we're going?" She goes, "I don't know, 75. I go, "Mom, how fast have you really been in your life? How fast the fastest you've gone?" She's like, "Maybe 100. I go, "Well, now that's 120. And she went, "Okay, you're never allowed to have me on the back ever again." So, okay. So that's how you get your mom not to ride on your bike anymore. And the one time I maxed out that bike, it was a 600. The 750s could go faster. I have ridden the Aprilia Mille R bike that, in a turn will lift the front wheel if you crack the throttle well enough. Those bikes are insanely torquey. And if you've ever ridden one, my God, please do it. They are heaven on wheels if you're into motorcycles. But I had this little 600, and we were going from our town, which went through downtown St. Paul, which the maximum speed limit there is 45, which is a highway. We call it the practice highway because the practice highway, you cannot go more than 45 miles an hour, even though it's at one point, 6-lane highway. And we're going to go to Dennis Kirk. Dennis Kirk is like the mail order, it's like Jegs or mail order for aftermarket bike parts up in Rush City. And Rush City, from where we lived, was, if you went the speed limit, probably a 2-hour ride. And so a friend had bought the same bike I did, but in yellow, and I had the same bike in blue. He had a yellow helmet. I mean, see where this is going? We were just so matchy-matchy. How we planned that, it was gorgeous. And we just thought we were the coolest kids on the block because we had a couple friends with CBR 600s, and we would ride around and just cause general mayhem for people and just be stupid. So we decided we're going to make this run up to Dennis Kirk to get some, taillights or something, and we're just going to ride our bikes just for fun. And my friend does not tell me his personal goal is to get the fastest, quickest time from here to Rush City, which is a 2-hour ride. We made it from our home, again, 2-hour ride, to Rush City in under 40 minutes. At one point, we were in that 45-mile-an-hour zone I told you about, 130, 135 on our little crotch rockets. There's a point in which there are two highways meet up in Minnesota, and that's kind of where civilization ends. And it's just farmland for the next, 20, 30 miles or whatever. And that's where we decided we're gonna test our upper limit of these bikes. And if you've never ridden a bike over 100 miles an hour, what happens is, at a certain point, the air rushing underneath the bike doesn't go this way anymore, it wants to go up. So it's going up like this, and it's trying to pick you off the bike. So anytime you watch those motorcycle races and the little guys are huddling like this, partially for aerodynamics, partially because they're getting thrown off the bike because there's so much wind pressure coming out of there. So you hit about 140, 150, 160, the speedometer reads 170, and that's where it kind of just, it hits the rev limiter at about 170. And I am just, like this the whole way. I've got my chin on the gas tank. I didn't have the glorious beard back then. It's a new development. That level of speed really messes with your head. And as I'm sure you're aware, any sustained amount of length of speed like that, your body starts to get used to it. And your body starts to stop thinking about potential things that could go wrong. A small pebble in the road, you hit it at 170 miles an hour, you ain't living. I think about this now. At the time, I had no care in the world. And the white lines in the middle become straight lines. The trees are no longer existent. Cars coming up you are doing 120 miles an hour faster than the next fastest thing on the road. In retrospect, it's kind of stupid. We see our exit, and let off the throttle, relax a little bit, because now all my muscles are just, tense as hell, because I've been trying to hug this bike the whole way, trying not to get thrown off the back. And I stand up, or sit up, I put my elbow on the tank and kind of look around and oh yeah, I'm doing good, no big deal. I should be doing the speed limit, still doing 125 miles an hour on a bike, just kind of casually doing that. So my takeaway from that is, scare your mom first, never let her know what you're doing, and buy an extra helmet.
We'd like to thank Vincero Watches for supporting VINwiki this month. Vincero makes bold, stylish, and well-priced watches out of exceptional materials, and there's a link in the description below for a discount. So check out their website and find the watch that helps make the statement that you want the world to see.